The question everyone is asking right now is, who will Trump pick to run as his vice president? In a recent appearance, Donald Trump said this.
If you are the nominee, which I know you expect to be, who would be in the running for vice president?
Well, I can't tell you that, really. I mean, I know who it's going to be.
Give us a hint.
We'll do another show sometime.
So he knows who it's going to be, but he has not announced it yet. I'm going to run through the potential options. I've done a lot of research on this, and I think I found some things that you might not be aware of. Let us start with the most talked about people. All of the political pundits have pointed to these two people as the top candidates for vice president, Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. These were two leading candidates in the Republican primary against Donald Trump. In my opinion, neither of these people will be chosen as vice president, and I will tell you why. Let us start with Nikki Haley. From all of the evidence I have seen, she's not eligible to run as president or vice president. The Constitution requires that you be a natural-born citizen. Now, a lot of people think that means you just have to be a citizen of the U.S. to run for president. That's not true. You need to be a natural-born citizen, which means that your parents also need to be citizens. Now, I know a lot of people debate this issue, but let me give you a specific example. Do you remember when John McCain ran for president? There was a huge scandal over whether he was considered a natural-born citizen. He was born in Panama on a U.S. military base. This issue became so contentious that the U.S. Senate passed a resolution called Senate Resolution 511. This resolution recognizes that John McCain meets the definition of natural-born citizen. If merely being a citizen is all that's required, why would the Senate pass this resolution? Now, I realize that there have been Democrat politicians that have not faced this same level of scrutiny. But do you understand the issue? There's a double standard going on. The Democrats don't follow the rules when it comes to being a natural-born citizen, but they make sure that they use it as a weapon against the Republicans. So let us talk about Nikki Haley. Everything that I have seen about Nikki Haley suggests that her parents were not U.S. citizens at her birth, which would mean that Nikki Haley is an anchor baby. The Constitution clearly does not allow for an anchor baby to be president or vice president. Now, to be clear, we don't know for sure whether Nikki Haley is or is not an anchor baby. She has not provided evidence to prove one way or the other. Honestly, though, with all the problems we have at the border, I don't even know why we would choose an anchor baby to be president or vice president. So let's play this out. Let's say that Trump picks Nikki Haley as vice president. You know what's going to happen, right? The Democrats are going to sue, saying that she's ineligible. Now, whether you think this has legal merit or not, you know the Democrats are going to take Donald Trump to court. They will use this to kick Donald Trump off the ballot. They've already taken him to court all across the country trying to kick him off. This would be a gift for the Democrats because they can sue in any state with a Democrat judge and a Democrat jury. And if you don't think this is going to happen, you are being naive. So in my opinion, one of the top reasons to pick a vice president is to pick someone who's not going to get you sued. If Trump picks Nikki Haley, he will be sued over whether she's an anchor baby, and the Democrats will use it to kick Trump off the ballot. I think Trump knows this, and that's why I don't think he's going to pick Nikki Haley. Besides the fact, I don't think he likes her very much. Now, what about Vivek Ramaswamy? He has the same problem. He said in an NBC interview that both of his parents were not U.S. citizens when he was born, which means that Vivek is also an anchor baby. I'm sorry. It is against the Constitution for an anchor baby to be president or vice president. Again, the Democrats will use this to sue and kick Donald Trump off the ballot. Now, this is not to say that Vivek is not an amazing person. Everyone loves Vivek. I wish that he and I were friends and that he could come over and we could hang out. Everyone loves Vivek. But there are jobs that he could do that would be more impactful than vice president. Personally, I think Donald Trump should put Vivek as head of the budget. If someone wants money for their government project, they would have to go through Vivek. That would be an incredibly powerful position in Washington, D.C. Honestly, Trump could put Vivek in any position in the White House, and he would be phenomenal. So I'm a big fan of Vivek, but I don't think he will be picked as vice president. There are also a number of other candidates with questions about their parents' citizenship. Ted Cruz has questions about his parents. There are questions about Tulsi Gabbard, who was born in American Samoa. Anyone who the Democrats can sue over should not be chosen as vice president. Another person everyone is suggesting is Ron DeSantis. I don't see him being picked as vice president. Donald Trump sees Ron DeSantis as disloyal. Donald Trump helped him get elected as the governor of Florida. And then Ron DeSantis ran against Trump for president. It's clear from Trump's posts that he didn't like that. After what happened with Mike Pence, it's very important for Trump to choose someone that he really trusts. For that reason, I don't think Ron DeSantis will be chosen as vice president. Who else is an option? Someone I like is Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's the current governor of Arkansas. She is the daughter of former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. She's popular, conservative, very competent, and successful. She worked in the previous White House with Donald Trump, so they've worked together before. I think that she would also help reach out to more women voters, which Donald Trump needs. I think she's a smart and safe choice for vice president. There's also Byron Donald, a U.S. representative from Florida. People love this guy. He's just so likable, and he's doing a great job in Congress. Donald Trump can trust him, which is very important to Trump. The problem with Byron Donald is that because he's from Florida, I'm not sure how many extra votes that will bring Trump. Trump's already from Florida. You would typically want to select a vice president from another region of the country to help reach more voters. It would be really unusual to have a president and a vice president from the same state. We also have to mention Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a congresswoman, and she's a rock star in the Republican Party. The problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene is that she's very polarizing. You either love her or you hate her. And I think that's somewhat unfair because the media has really turned people against her. When I've seen people actually sit down and talk with Marjorie Taylor Greene, they find out that she's likable, hardworking, and a mother. But as unfair as it is, the public perception is that she is polarizing. And perception is reality. Since Donald Trump is already polarizing, it doesn't really make sense to pick a vice president who is also polarizing. Some people have suggested Elise Stefanik, who recently became well known for taking on the presidents of the Ivy League universities. She's a U.S. representative from New York. She is also another person who's very likable, but Trump is already from New York. So again, I'm not sure how many extra votes that will bring Trump. It's unusual to pick a president and a vice president from the same state. One of my favorites is Carrie Lake. She recently ran for governor of Arizona and is incredibly popular across the country. She was a former news anchor, so she knows how to take on the news media. But her situation is very unique. Arizona's Senate seat is up for grabs, and because of her popularity, she's the only person who can flip the seat from Democrat to Republican. If that seat changes, it will change the balance of power in Washington, D.C. So it's more important for her to run for Senate than it is for her to be chosen as vice president. Next is South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. She is definitely a star in the Republican Party. She's loyal to Trump. She's very accomplished as a governor. The problem, and I hate to say this, is that South Dakota does not have a big impact strategically. It's not a swing state, and it does not impact the Electoral College that much. So I'm not sure how many votes it would bring. Next is Ben Carson. He is well known and liked. He previously ran for president. Also, he previously worked in the Trump White House. So they've worked together before. Trump trusts him. He's a retired neurosurgeon. Everyone thinks he's a genius. But I don't think campaigning was necessarily his strong suit. Trump really needs someone to go out on the campaign trail and turn out votes. Ben Carson is definitely one of the top choices for vice president, but I personally think he would be better working in the White House again, making policy decisions. Tucker Carlson is also on the list. Everyone loves Tucker Carlson, but I think choosing him would be a big mistake. Tucker Carlson has never run for public office before. We have no idea what skeletons he has in his closet. Now, I've heard rumors he's done drugs. There have been accusations in the past of sexual harassment. These might not be true, but whatever is in his past would come out during an election. Plus, he has a lot of enemies in the press that would love to find dirt on him and smear him. And if they can't find dirt, they would make it up. I think it would be a big disaster to select someone who has never been through public scrutiny and then watch as all the dirt comes out. I want to throw out one other name that no one else is suggesting, but I think could be a game changer. Jamie Dimon, the current CEO of JP Morgan. He's talented and well respected. I think if Donald Trump called him up and asked him to serve for 4 years as vice president, it would be an enormous sacrifice for him, but I think he would do it. To put this in context, Jamie Dimon makes millions of dollars every year. He would be giving that up. If that happened, it would change everything. Powerful liberals would line up to follow Jamie Dimon's lead. We've already seen this recently with Jamie Dimon's remarks in an interview last week on CNBC.
But when people say MAGA, they're actually looking at people voting for Trump, and they think they're voting, and they're basically scapegoating them, that you are like him. But I don't think they're voting for Trump because of his family values. And if you look, just take a step back, be honest. He was kind of right about NATO, kind of right about immigration. Mm-hmm. He grew the economy quite well.
China virus.
Tax reform worked. Yeah. He was right about some of China. I don't like what he did.
No, I said China virus.
Yeah, I understand. He may have been right. And I don't like how he said things about Mexico. But he wasn't wrong about some of these critical issues. And that's why they're voting for him. And I think people should be a little more respectful of our fellow citizens. And when you guys have people up here, you should always ask the why. Not like it's a binary thing. You're supporting Trump, you're not supporting Trump. Why are you supporting Trump?
It's hard to hate 75 million of your fellow Americans. And
I agree.
It's done crazy.
I think he's making some powerful statements. Jamie Dimon is definitely a wild card pick, but it's interesting to consider. So that is my list. Now, no one knows who Trump is going to choose, but my prediction is Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's a safe and solid pick, and that's who I think Trump needs right now. Now I want to hear from you. I am sure a lot of you will disagree with me, so let me know in the comments down below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. If you like these videos, consider signing up for a monthly membership on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month, you help me to keep putting out these videos. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Thank you for watching.